So, some of you were with me last week, some of you have been listening to me, some of you probably never seen me before, and I know you're already disappointed. You know, being a salon owner isn't easy. The world is celebrated. There's about 1 million hairdressers. Pomage is an inclusive culture. Some people want to freelance, some people want to own a salon, some people want to do it at home. I'm not going to judge that. What I'm going to talk about a lot tonight is what I'm fighting for as a salon owner. How you're paid has got nothing to do with it. It's about individual performance. I'm going to show you what we're doing, types of dialogue. We all want to do better, but it's not always easy. So what you need is a strategy. I'm not that complicated. I have a GED, which is what you get out of high school. It's got to be simple for me. It's also got to be simple so my staff understand it. It's got to be simple, so simple somebody could do it. So it's really one of those things. I just met with one of my landlords this week, and I remember calling on him about 12 years ago. I popped in, it used to be a sunglass hut, and I said, I want to open a salon here, and he laughed in my little face. He said, I don't want to put a salon here. Salons don't work, he told me. About that same time, I went to the bank, I said, I'd like to get a loan, I'm going to open a salon, and the bank manager said, a beauty shop? I said, don't judge me by where you get your hair done. So, one of my favorite philosophies is proving people wrong, proving my mother wrong. When I went to hair school, she said, what are you going to do with that? I said, let me show you. I've become quite a famous guy. My father, who's a professional dentist, said I wouldn't make money at it. I don't have much money, but I sure make a lot. That's any different. See, nothing changes. Just the bills get bigger. But I'm not very money motivated. I'm actually more motivated by watching people get it, watching people grow up, watching people change. In fact, not so long ago, Jamie and I was in this salon maybe 3-4 years ago, and I can't believe, first of all, how much it's changed, Jeff. It looks absolutely brilliant from the street out. People think I'm a fun guy. I'm only fun when I'm hanging out with my people, which is hairdressers. I wouldn't be fun at IBM. It's because when you hear me talk, you're going to know that I know what you know. My job as a salon owner is tricking my staff into doing the things they ought to do every day. You've heard this say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Our job is to add salt to the diet. Now, if you're an individual performer, then who's motivating you? That's the hard part, because you're now free. You take a train off the track, where does it go? Nowhere. So I'm just saying what you've got to do is be connected to cultural sides of things, education. The internet's fantastic right now. If I had to start my career over again, I wouldn't make it, because the internet would know right away I was a fraud, because I've been pretending to be better than Johnny Depp, pretending to be a hairdresser for years. But one thing I'm not pretending is being a businessman. I own 7 salons. Nothing will keep you humbler than owning a salon. Whether it's just going into one of your favorite staff members and said, I'm having a baby, and you want to feel joy, but inside you're mad about it. Because she's been having sex at home. Here's the fact I know that the beauty industry, Jeff knows it to be true. If you own a salon, you know it to be true. People move on, and sometimes that's good. People move on in relationships, sometimes that's good. There's people that work in salons that have already quit but haven't told you yet. People move on. And I'm just saying that when you look at it reality-based, clients move on, you've got to be building constantly, building a team, building. That's what it's about. So because I'm not that pretty, I'm going to drop the lights a little bit, and we're going to go through a little PowerPoint. The way the class is going to work tonight, I'm going to show you some stuff. Take pictures of it, write it down if you wish. At the end, we're going to do Q&A. And at the back there, my beautiful fiance with flowers in her hair. Hi, Mary. She will, any question you may have, if it's a career path, anything, I don't have the PowerPoint, 2 seconds, technology will bring it up. I do love technology. I love my iPhone and everything else. I was just in the salon, Jeff, and this will make you feel good. This guy got 53,000 clients. He's in Houston, Texas. 53,000 clients. First time visit to the salon. He said, Robert, what percentage do you think come back? And I think to myself, well, the average in the industry, people returning is probably 80%. He said 8%. 8 out of 51,000 returned. That's devastating. So when you look at this little graph here, after 5 visits, now let me just be clear here as a hairdresser. First visit, you're like, how you doing? I'm going to make your day. You're helping them with the robe on. You're almost out of the car, opening the door. You're doing everything. Date 2, not so much. Date 3, you start layering her hair when she had talked to you on the first consultation about growing out her layers. And as you're chopping through them, because I thought we were growing those out, and you say, we are. I just thought I'd trim them for you. First hairdressing lie right there. We lie. So all I'm saying is, what we got to do is not just get a client, we got to retain them like my body retains ice cream. You got to keep them. And this salon, they told me last month, had 72 walk-ins. Well, the goal here is if you keep the 72, and you keep all the rest, then that's when your business is growing. The problem is people are getting new guests every day, but they're not keeping them, so they're not really building, they're actually maintaining, and in some cases, which I'll show you, documented that this is how you tell. I use numbers to influence behavior. Before there was an iPhone, there was a paper book. Paper book didn't tell you anything, just told you most people had bad handwriting. The reality of today, through data, I can run 7 stores without being in the building. In fact, one of my companies, I found my partners were having a divorce, and not because they told me, because the numbers said so. So in the numbers, I found a divorce in my company. So I'm just saying, as we go through this, I want you to look at it. These are people coming in, and no matter what they had, it could have been a highlight, could have been a haircut. These people don't come back. And the key that you want to really understand is not just getting a new client, it's keeping the client forever. So I'm going to show you strategies. It's one, building a business without upgrading. One is really how you refer to new clients, and most importantly, how do you keep them? Because it's not just, you know, doing it good one time. It's not going to keep them loyal for 5 years. It's doing it good every time. We have a system in our salon. Every new guest gets a tour. I got a beautiful salon, 7,000 square feet. They wear their Nikes. We walk through the salon, we show them all the stuff. And one day I'm in the salon, I'm doing an old lady's hair, first time in. I said, "How was your tour?" She said, "I didn't get one." Down the line of it, doing another client, I go, "How was your tour?" She goes, "I didn't get one." I go, "Oh." Third guest, brand new to the salon, "How was your tour today?" And she said, "I didn't get one." I walk over to my reservation team, I said, "I had 3 guests, didn't get a tour." She said, "Even when we're busy?" I said, "Especially when we're busy." See, these are habits, these are strategies, and if you drop the ball, things don't happen. You've got to be consistent in this business. So consistent with a smile. Everybody tells me I love the beauty industry. Well, start by telling your face. People tell me they love it. Okay, you'll get with me. Maybe you need more tequila. We can take a break. So retention. If the industry average is 1 in 10 after 5 visits, I'm just saying, just to be dangerous, 5 out of 10 would make you better. And I'm just saying, there's no reason, in my mind, why you couldn't keep each and every guest. Give me a reason why a guest couldn't come back. Death, that's a good one. They moved away, they got a coupon in the mail. I'm just saying, you're competing with every discretionary dollar. You've got to be number 1 on that priority list. That's where service happens. What we truly are is not hairdressers or barbers, we're servants of the heart. Now I do hair shows, and we pay girls sometimes $5,000 for me to go out and cut her hair with a fork, but in the salon people pay me. And my clients don't look like supermodels. They look like regular people. In fact, one of my favorite clients is 75 years old, used to be a kindergarten teacher. And she wears Birkenstocks, which I consider a form of contraceptive. Everybody's kicking them off, I see you. It's your day off, I forgive you. Her name's Trudy. And you'll see as I go through the presentation, we put the ring light on her, which is a big thing on Instagram, but not to publish her picture, just to make her feel good. Like when Starbucks mention your name, you feel good. Mary, your Frappuccino's ready. And Mary's like pushing people out the way. It's right. So making people feel good is what I really do. When I'm on a hair show, I'm cutting crazy stuff, but in the salon, I trim hair all day. What people want is simple things. They want an even haircut. They ask for layers, like give me 3, like they come in a 6-pack. So how do you show off? You show off in the sink, you show off in the color bar, you show off with your dialogue, you show off with your enthusiasm, your caring. You show off with the note-taking that you take on details of their life, so when they come back in, they're no longer a stranger. I had a little minor surgery last week, and I got a surgeon and 3 nurses. And she said, "Are you working this year?" "I'll be in the salon this week." She says, "Oh, how are you going to do that?" I said, "I have help." She goes, "You got girls?" I go, "That's very sexist of you." She goes, "After you go to the salon." She goes, "What is the salon name?" And I said, "It's my name." Guess why I said that? Because I know as he's cutting open my body, he does not even know my name after my 3rd visit. And we're talking thousands of dollars. So I just want to know, where's the perspective? We are better service providers than most of the professionals in the industry, any industry. So here's some stats. You want to have 80% reboot, 80% retention, 20% new requests. Now, if you had 100% of these 2, you get no requests, guess what would happen? You'd get bored. You'd start burning ladies with a curling iron just to get a little excitement in your day, because what I love about new people, they make you play your game. They make you stand up to be the professional you are, not the kid you were 15 years ago in beauty school, that new person you become. So these are just facts of What you get paid on now, be honest with you, whether you're independent, whether you work in a commission salon, team-based pay, it makes no difference. These numbers are absolute as you go through it. Next shot. This is how we start our day. On the front of the reservation, which is somewhere, where are we here, Jeff? Up top. On that front door as they walk in, there's names of all the new guests. Why? Because we celebrate 365 days a year, new guests. And how do we do that? We do it with a tour. Making a big deal about it. Now, if you made a big deal the first time, you can't just go get a schmuck on the second time. And you laugh because it's exactly what we do. So I'm just saying, let's be real about it. So when you walk into my salon, if your name's Jeannie, you're going to see your name in lights. You're going to be, oh my God, so excited. People say, where did you learn that? At my dentist's office. I was in there and it said, welcome Robert. I go, shit, that's my name. Didn't know it was me. Consultation. See, we chat to people, but I'm just saying words. As hairdressers, we can talk about layers, we can talk about convex, concave, we can talk about lots of, but clients don't necessarily understand, so I just think that having a great consultation has got a lot more to do with it in the retention and the systematic behavior of how often they're going to come back, which I'll show you. So it's not just a chair and a mirror, it's something of a tool that can help you be more successful, as I'll show you. On every station in my salon, this is written out. This is actually 4 weeks from today. So when I start cutting your hair and you tell me the most important thing is it needs to last 4 or 6 weeks, on every station we've marked out what 4, 6, 8 weeks look like. This has improved our reservation count up to 60% increase simply by putting something up front, starting with the end in mind. If I'm cutting this man's hair, he's going to tell me he wants it to last 3 weeks. Why do I love barbers? It's not for their skill set, it's for their frequency of visit. An average man visiting a barber, he probably gets his hair cut 20 times a year. And we're looking for the highlight client. So let's get educated together tonight. So I'm just saying, when you look at what's important to people, let's start 6 weeks. I'm going to cut your hair in 6 weeks, I want to see you. And we're going to automatically make you a reservation. So start with the time frame in mind. And that'll help you. Also, it'll help you on a budget. So if people kind of realize this. So we start with this. Now, to be honest, we print them up. We've also done sticky tabs where we hand wrote it. Somebody with great handwriting. But this is a system to help you get more rebooking. Let's say you're an independent stylist. Would this help your station communicate what you're about? The answer is yes. See, we rely on our words, and when we're in a talkative mood, yeah, our words are awesome, but sometimes you got to put it into a system, which means it's written down. So you'll see throughout my organization here, lots of things that are written for the salon to see, the team and the guest. So that helps give us common knowledge, yeah? A picture paints 1,000 words. We do this with models. I do shows all over the world, but they can't even communicate in English. So the only way I can show her a haircut that I can do is through a photograph. So when you think about fringes or bangs, think about a bang. What does that mean to you? If you say, I want a bang, I'm thinking, well, I know. What does that really mean? So let's look at the options on bangs. So this is where I want to suggest to hairdressers, either using Instagram or using pictures that you like. You want to create a storyboard of visuals. So if you're looking for hand-painted goddess hair, have a few photographs of that. You're looking for fringes, long layers, short bobs, short pixie cuts. I suggest you use photographs to help communicate to the client because they don't understand our words. I watch people having this big conversation. I watch them go over to the wash house, and I can tell the client has no idea what the hairdresser said, and I can tell the hairdresser really has no idea. This is the reason why 1 in 10 return and 9 don't. So this is the key thing. So being clear with visuals, our words are too much. We talk too much, we don't show enough. And I'm just saying, let's be dangerous with our words, and let's bring in some visual fiber. I love the salon here because we've got visuals all over the place. Being with Paul Mitchell helps me. I have posters everywhere. Half the time clients are just pointing to the poster saying, I want that hair color and the Marilla's highlight. So I'm just saying, pictures help communicate better than just words. Teaching artistry, this is teaching from the heart, not just telling a client what you're doing, not just showing them. I can show you all day how to cut hair. It doesn't mean you can do it by watching me. You watch the Olympics, don't you? Yeah. So, tell me I may forget, show me I may remember. What I'm talking about is involve each and every guest. If I've got a blow dryer and I'm showing you something, I'm going to give you the blow dryer. If it's a brand new neon product, I'm going to put it in your hands. If I'm going to teach you how to use Mitch, I'm going to put it in your hands, you're going to put it in their hair. That's teaching artistry. That's what the internet cannot do. Everybody's worried about the internet. Do not worry about the internet, because what you have that the internet does not have is a captive audience. And what you've done most of the time is in that captive audience, you've done zero. So we got to do a better job, and I'm going to show you how. What do you think that means? She's like, I have no idea. That's the most important part of the seminar. Yeah, you got it. She helped you. She stuck it up there. Now, forget about in our business. Let's look at some businesses that do it remarkably. You ever seen McDonald's do the McRib is back? That's affecting their frequency of visit. Because you're already McDonald's out. I've had Big Macs every day, and then suddenly the McRib's back. Like they found some pig somewhere. Suddenly it's back. They had no pig for 8 months, but they found some pigs just in the corner. Now we got the McRib. Where am I going here? Help me out here. I need more tequila. I need some. Starbucks. Who goes to Starbucks? Come on. Yeah, you're gonna have diabetes too. Starbucks celebrate 250 visits a year. 250 visits a year. Before we were even hairdressers, before there was a man called Vidal Sassoon, clients used to come in to see us once a week. I don't know if anybody in the room was doing hair then, but you would actually see 20 or 30 heads a day. You'd roller set them, sometimes 3 or 4 at a time, stick them under the hood dryer. You go over all the time checking to see if people were wet, checking to see if they were wet. Then you get a couple of dry ones, right? And you come tease them out. I heard rumors that hairdressers left the salon and then forgot they had left 2 under the dryer. They had to go back. Now think of what I just said. They used to come in every week for weekly services. Then Vidal changed everything and turned us into a cut, wash and wear nation. Now, that's not a problem, but at the time we were seeing about 8 visits a year. Through the economies, different things hit and things shifted. So let's take you on a little journey. In my opinion, if you're a full-time hairdresser, and if you're part-time, my beautiful fiancée is an educator for Paul Mitchell, probably works on average 2 to 3 days a week. So she's not a full-time hairdresser. If I was to look at her as a coach, I would say she probably needs 120 guests to make her 2 or 3 day dream happen. So if you're working 1 or 2 days, 3 days, you can have this number. But if you're full-time, I'm going to tell you, you need 200 loyal guests to be successful. And that's a beautiful thing. Some of you have 200 friends on Facebook, so you've got this made. Now look at this. Now, the average of the industry is about $40 a ticket. What I will say, if you look at Salon today, the top 200 salons, the average ticket is about $80. Now, if you're at $80, congratulations. If you're below $80, I'm going to show you how to get to $80, because what you need is not lots of clients, you need fewer clients, more meaning. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But what I want you to pay attention to, let's just say, Michael, you come into the business and you're on commission. Would you rather have commission of this number or this number? Michael said 64, because he's already rich. No, he said 128. Who's going to tell you less? Who's going to tell you less? And all that is not about Michael getting more clients, not about Michael upgrading, not about selling more retail, just getting clients who tell him he loves their love him, whatever that meant. I love you. Getting people to come back in more, and I'm going to show you how to get people to come back in more. It's not hitting them with a stick, it's just giving them the reason for the season. So to me, no matter where you go, if you look at color touch-ups, this is a reality. 8 times a year is not impossible. I have clients that come in 12 plus times. Do you know 80% of these types of clients are bringing in, 20% of this type of clients bring in 80% of the revenue. And check your computer, you'll find it to be true. There's some people coming in very frequently, and all we got to do is let others know that they should come back more often. I'll show you how. So at $80, oh, you're going too quick for me. So whoever's at $80, that's great. And I'm just saying, I'm going to help you get to 80. If you're at 50, I'll show you how to get to 80. It's not so hard. Well, let's take it up a bit, because this is where the math gets really good. Now you can go, honey. Now she's going to go slow. $100. My salon downtown San Diego, I've got a $2.5 million salon. This week's average ticket was about $130. But basically $100 is simple math for all of us. So the difference is, if you see a client on average, and you know 4 visits a year is average, and if you go down here to 8 visits a year, look at the difference, it doubles. So I'm just saying, what's in your interest here to get clients who say they love you to come back more often? Which ways can we do that? I'm going to show you how. I know some of the people that work here, and I know they've got bigger average tickets than 100, so let's take it up a bit. This is for those of you that are starting to get varicose veins and carpal tunnel. That you're saying, I don't want to work this hard for 25 years. This is where you start to change the game and you want to become more dangerous. This is the key to it. But look at the difference again on $150. You have access to $250,000 or $120. And all that is a case of how you play the game, making decisions on what strategies you're using to get people to come back more often. I'm going going to try the McRib thing next week, but we'll keep going. And the last one, let's see, we got a 200? Now, I'm a $200 average ticket, and I'll just tell you, I no longer color hair. I just cut hair because I don't like waiting on color. I just like to cut hair, so I go in and do 10 clients. I do an average of $2,000 a day. At my age, that's pretty impressive. But what I want to show you again is the scale in revenue. If you can get these bigger tickets, and when you look at really getting all services to every client, I don't want to cut your hair, I want to cut, color, and treat it. So I'm just saying, when you get that multiple ticket, you don't need thousands of clients. Few clients, more meaning. Next shot. Young people in the room, you'll like this. This is how the world determines how you're paid. It's really quite simple. It's not because Jesus loves you, I'm sure he does. But there's three things. We call it RED in our organization. It's called reputation, experience, and demand. If you want to buy a house that's in demand, you're going to pay premium. If you want to rent a space that's in demand, you're going to pay premium. So I'm just saying, when you look at what's in demand, often the price goes up. I have a salon in the hotel in Vegas. When it's in demand, the room rates go up. When it's flat and the summer's low, rates go down. So we want to get in demand. That's one of the key things. The next thing is experience. Experience is everything. So let's just say I'm the person on the desk. I pick up the phone. How much are your haircuts? Well, they start at 50, go up to 75. Well, what makes the 50 different from the 75? Well, it's simple. Reputation, experience, and demand. Now, sometimes you'll tell a client this, they will move up to the more heavier reputation experience, meaning the bigger price. So selling the menu is a key. Not just taking the walk-in price at the smallest, because some days I'm going to show you that the bigger price may be there. A client that's been having 20 years of highlights doesn't necessarily want to start with a kid that just come out of beauty school. She's been highlighting her hair longer than you've been alive. See the intimidation there? So I'm just saying, it makes a difference. So how we're paid is based on these three things. In our salon here, at Epic, they got 3, I have 5. So they want to know the difference between 50 and 150 or 200 is based on reputation, experience, and demand. We call them elements, you can call them whatever you want, but I like the dialogue. Next shot. Authority. This is something I'd love to give to every hairdresser. You've got to be authoritative. You've got to sound like an expert. We made a product last year, I know Michael knows about it. Anti-thinning, tea tree scalp care. Inside there's 5 key ingredients. Turmeric, ginseng, pea peptides, but here's the one that I loved. Kakadu. No way I ever thought I'd get to say kakadu through a microphone. It just sounds terrible, but kakadu is an ingredient. So what I'm saying, for me to talk about to a person who's concerned about hair loss, and don't think of it as hair loss, think of it as anti-thinning, right? Or excuse me, anti-aging. So when you think about this, who does it apply to? I'm just saying, this is where you have to show authority. I watch people pick up products and say, this is my favorite product, and then they read the label. That's not authority. You imagine a doctor was ready to give you an injection, and right before you just kind of reading the bottle, see if that was it, pulling it away, like, I'm not really sure, try this. That's not authority. You want to become credible. So that's, first of all, study time. So if it's a brand new product line, you've got to study it. If it's how neuro tools work with the absolute microchip, you've got to study that. You don't just become an expert because you want to, you've got to study, do a little home play, do a little research. Next shot. Dialogue is probably my favorite thing to stop people with. It's words that can just stop you in the street. I love a good homeless person when they've got the right dialogue. I love to give them money, but I don't just give it away for nothing. I need to hear something good, not just for anybody. So words are interesting. 10 is the word, 40% is how you say them, and then it's how you look saying them. So let me take you back to your salon. When you're talking in front of that mirror, your client's watching you. You're either convincing to be convincing to them, and if you're not convinced, you won't sound convincing. And I'm just saying, what I look for is how you look saying it, and how you look when you're saying it. That's a lot. I work in a lot of countries that don't speak my language. When I'm on stage, you wouldn't know the difference, because it's not about the words. Here's a simple one. Especially right now, we've all seen the client come in with box-colored black hair and wants to be platinum. So the first question you ask her, how much did you budget for your hair color today? If she says $1 million, we're good to go, cancel my day. But if she says 45, you're going to have to be realistic with what that is. Now, I'm not saying I can't do it for 45, but it's going to take you time. That would help your frequency of visit too. So I'm just saying, let's talk about dollars sometimes. It's okay. Ask a client this, how much did you budget today for take home? Now right now she's looking at me just freaking out. But generally speaking, even a client that had no idea is going to give you a number. They're going to say $10, which you can now comfortably spend. If they're a woman, you can spend 20% over the budget. Move over here to the guy's side. That's right, I used to be a woman. This is probably the most dangerous thing. How many bathrooms are you buying for? Let me see if I can pick somebody up that may have that. I get Teresa, right? Is it Teresa? How many bathrooms are you buying for? You live alone. I knew I should know that for you. Alright. First of all, don't try this on 15-year-olds. How many bathrooms are you buying for? Because they're not buying for a lot. But if you get a typical mother in the chair, this happens to me all the time. When we first came out with Alcohol Wild Ginger, the sulfate-free technology, it was our first sulfate-free. Every man at home was using his wife's sulfate-free shit like it was Axe. Right? So then we gave them double hitter, so they had their own sulfate-free thing. Then what happened? You got your 14-year-old daughters in there with your Marula. My daughters get so much hair, one big bottle is one application for her. She thinks it's an Aopuya pill. But what do I have for her? Now I have Neon. So I'm just saying, it's thinking about not just your needs, what other needs? Because I'll tell you one word I want you to think about. If that's all you get from here, the word convenience. We got to be convenient to the client. We got to make it convenient for them to take us home with them, and that's where products come in. So not just looking at the sale of what you may need, what other conveniences could I offer you? So if she's got a husband or a boyfriend, not only could I make a recommendation for take home, there's a chance she may want to bring her husband in. I would ask my female guest, does your husband have a haircut or a haircut experience? What do you think she says? Oh, he just has a haircut, like somebody took a poop on his head. That's the power of experience. A haircut is not what I'm selling. The experience of me is what I think is worth $200. It's not about how well I cut the hair. And if you're coming in every 6 weeks, it's really trimming hair. It's not a whole whirlwind hair show every time. It's simple things. So simple things mean a lot. This one, I dare you to try it all day tomorrow. What are you almost out of? It is impossible if you ask that question for somebody not to visualize something. So when I do it in the salon, they go, oh, I'm almost out of conditioner, I'm almost out of this, almost out of that. Ask them, what are you almost out of? So straight away you've made a sale. And once somebody started with one bottle, then they go, what else do I need? They've opened up that category, they're already ready to shop. So just think about it, what are you almost out of? Next shop, because. One of my favorite words is not the fanciest words. I think I definitely love The Wizard of Oz. Because, back when I was little, they didn't have a lot of movies, so I just watched that one over and over again. But the word because is pretty clever, so watch this. Because your hair is dry, I recommend Wild Ginger Hydro Triplex. 93% of the women in the world describe their hair as dry. Because you have split ends, I recommend Rare Marula. Rare Marula cures it, split ends up to 80%. Because you're getting married in 3 weeks, I recommend you come in to see me more often for regular treatments. Right? So there's no end to how you can put in because you always hate your hair the last week, I recommend you come in a week early on a 4-week cycle instead of 5. See how that works? Who's going to stop you? Try it the next time you go to Starbucks. Just go straight to the front of the line and say, because I'm late, I'm just going to jump in here. And people go, alright. They're not going to stop you. Because you deserve to look your very best. I use that a lot with men. You feel the best when you're looking good. Because you like to look your very best, I recommend I see you every 4 weeks. Simple. You either control people or they control you. I, in some ways, could be considered a control freak. But I'm saying better that than people controlling you. Just as... Next shot. Trim it or treat it. Next time you have a color client only, just ask them this question, would you like to trim it today or treat it? What did you just give her? An alternate ending close question. If she's drunk, she may say, I'll have a trim and a treat. But what I'm saying is if she was just down for highlights, just down for touch-up, now you say you want to trim it today or treat it, she's going to give you one or the other, in some cases two. We have a kid in our company, her name's Briston, increased her average ticket on her KPI $30 a guest. By simply using that dialogue. Do you want to trim it today or treat it? People went for one or the other, in some cases went for both. Next shot. Think Sync. I was at a seminar a few weeks ago in Atlanta. kid got up there and said, treatment's really cool, but we don't make money shampooing hair, and I had to disagree. There's more money in this room than any other room. Because if I put my back into a shampoo, we call it Sex in the City, Sinky. If I put my back into it, more chance you're going to go out to the neighborhood and tell people about it. You may love the experience so much you come back more often. And if I use certain things here, you're going to affect my gratuity. So hairdressers make about 20% gratuity in my experience. I'm just saying, you want to see bigger tips, it comes from this experience. Mary said she did something in the sink yesterday with one of her guests. And the guest after she was doing all, was it a hot towel or something?
No, I added, I put on the treatment, but then I used the tea tree hair and scalp treatment, the one that has the microbeads in it, and then I put that right through her scalp, and then gave her a hot towel. I did that on all of my guests the other day. It was like 4 guests in a row. And they were like, I never had that before. Oh, what is that? That was amazing. And they all took that home. And just to be honest, I don't typically sell that as a take-home. I don't, because so many of my guests get color and stuff, but they loved it. And I was like, ooh, I just had a picture in the wash house. It was awesome.
Well, think about it. We walk into this little room just thinking we're going to use the same old dance moves we used back in the 80s. It's not going to work. You better surprise your guests. You better stop their clock. You better find scalp manipulations. You better go experience it. Go to Happy Buddha Feet. Go to a couple of these other places and watch how people can just do stuff to your head. And even though we touch people's heads, it's a whole other experience. So I'm just saying, the sink is probably one of the best ways to build a tool. My first salon, I didn't call it the Robert Crummy salon, I called it the wash house. Because I wanted to make a bigger deal about the shampooing than any other salon had. And we kept that principle. Here's one, and I gotta say, Kristen Farrell helps us a lot. She makes a lot of great products for our company. But what I love about what Kristen's done, there's a lot of claims on the latest products. And these claims aren't designed to impress you. They're designed to talk to the customer. When it says 80% reduction in split ends, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to the customer who suffers from split ends. That makes sense? So I see people in the freeway, I see people in the car, if they're not playing with their iPhone, what are they playing with? Their split ends. They're like looking at them, they love to look at them. I think I know why they're splitting. Why? You keep looking at them. Just a theory, can't prove it. So this is one of the ads. Here's one we just did, break free. So this is dealing with Hydro Triplex. One thing I'll tell you, I'm going to show you a few treatments. Rather than go home and build a treatment plan with 43 flavors like Baskin Robbins, just focus on one for the next 2 months. And then after that, focus on the next one. And after that, within 6 months, you'll be selling all the treatments you want to do. But focus is one of the most important things. Focusing on everything is like a shotgun. I'd rather you really zoned in on it and really focus. So if you like these ideas, start off with Marula. Start off to the one you love. So I love this one. Just gonna smash your iPhone. It's for you, break free phone, there you go. And then I love this one, be hydrated, like dehydrated. So that's for the Hydro Triplex. So simple stuff, next shot. It's pretty. I'll voice over it. I had a hard time putting this in just a picture because of the transformation between color. I see Colorcraft as one of the best inventions that Kristen's gave me in a long time. And I'll tell you why. Not only is it dangerous as a take-home item, but it's also dangerous as a treatment. If this was my typical salon day, and just to be honest, and I'm sure it's the same here, about 120 guests come into our salon a day, and they're going to look just like you. It's diversified. I could see opportunities, at least for 50% of the room, to experience Colorcraft. It could be a blonde that's lost its tonality. It could be a brunette that's starting to oxidize and get red. It could be somebody who's never had color would like to try it. Some of the crazier colors, the pinks and the blues. For the last 3 years, we've been saying dry shampoo for 3 years, it will never fade. Well, now I can tell my clients, you can wash it as much as you want, because with Colorcraft, you're going to condition back in the tonality. Color does fade. Sometimes as I travel, I run a bathtub, I can smell the chlorine. So I'm just saying there's so many things from heat and some of the other things that come out of here. What does it mean for me now as a hairdresser? I have something that I can add what's missing throughout the experience of that color journey. So Colorcraft's incredible because if I get it on the sink, the reality is they're going to take it home. Here is the menu we just moved through, and again, talking about what a client suffers from, damaged goods, Cara Triplex, going through a dry spell. I feel like the weatherman here. The F word, and I heard upstairs, you said you're doing great with Alpui Vera Smooth. Color Addict, that was for Ultimate Color Repair. Dry Scalp, Tea Tree as a brand is going to eclipse Paul Mitchell, the brand, very soon. It is a growing market, a beautiful experience product. and split ends to Marilla. Next shot. I love the tag on this, stole this from Preview. When things get heated up, you need protection. That's what it's all about. You ever had a client in your salon, and I've had this happen many times, she said to me, I use my blow dryer on a cool setting. And 4 hours later, when it's dry, I said, I got another idea. Don't plug your iron in, it'll never burn. It won't curl for shit, but it will never burn. I'm just saying, people won't blow dry their hair because they're scared of damage. So what would it mean for us to have a reassurance to each and every guest that I know you're concerned about damage, we're going to use intelligent technology here to help protect every single strand. So this is a brand new product. First of all, I love the fragrance. Mary's been wearing it in her hair, and I've just been making out with her a little more than usual, which is a lot. So I'm always looking for interesting taglines. This did not come from the brochure, it came from one of my educators, was on stage last week and they have to audition in front of me, and she said this one. I said, that is a cracker. Networking or not working? I'm talking to you. You're either passing out cards, you're doing these things, or you're not. And if you're not going to be working. And Jeff's got 72 walk-ins, some of my salons in Vegas get 6,000. I will bring in the 6,000, but you've got to do the other half. You've got to bring in your 6,000 people. This is a perfect disguise for passing out cards, because people want to know. They're like, wow, you look pretty weird. What are you doing? I'm a hairdresser. So I'm just saying, there's so many opportunities where we walk to work with our head down, and all you got to do is lift up, put a smile on it, and start talking to people. And people are going to ask you, what do you do? Loving referrals. There's not a better way to build your business than people who already love you. So I would just simply say this. I know when you come to the salon, you get so happy to be here, just like right now. You speak English, right? Just checking. Is she with you? Is she related? No. You gotta see her soon. She's smiling out about it. She's just looking like, I'm speaking Spanish or something. I don't know what she was thinking. I was going to try a role play, but I looked at her stoic face. I like, she's not going to play with me, I can tell. Loving referrals. I would simply say that the people that love you so much, that tell you every day they love you, you want to make sure that you're asking for that referral. Some people give like 20% discounts. On a $200 haircut, that's 40 bucks. That may not be incentive. I'd rather give you a blow dry and a treatment. Why? Because I want you to come in more often. So what did that do? It creates a habit. It takes 21 days to create a habit. Right now, we're starting in our barber world with Q-tips with wax on it, free for men, up the nose. Now you don't walk up and say, you want to do this. You say, this is complimentary. You do it the first time, they can breathe again. Then next time, they're going to want it. So I'm just saying what you give away has got a lot to do with them coming back. So this is one that we built for getting people in for the blow dry. I see down the street there's a blow dry bar. That doesn't scare me, because when I'm a full service salon, I want to make sure that every client knows I do blow dries. And if I can get them in more often, that's what I'm going to do. So loving referrals, making sure you're saying that to clients. I love referrals, I love referrals. Nothing makes me happier. Let me show you some words. You're the coolest guy. I'll try it with you, because I'm keeping away from you over here. What's your name? Hugo. You're the coolest guy that ever comes in here. Hugo, not only am I excited when you come in, everybody in the salon loves to see you. Do me a favor, send me friends just like you. Hugo will send you friends just to prove he has them. Dialogue. Dialogue. Thank you for trusting me with your hair. If you've got a whole family, thank you for trusting me. That's the greatest honor I can receive as a hairdresser. I promise you, your guests that you send will get the same high level of experience. This one I love. Next one. People have specialties. So where's my curly? Who's got curly hair? Extreme curly hair. You got it. You're a hairdresser? You ever cut in curly hair and people say, most people don't know how to work with curly hair. People with curly hair are a little nuts. They're the only people, when they talk to you in the chair with a consultation, they make noises. And my hair does, like your hair talks to you, it makes noises. But if I was cutting your hair, and I know that finding the right guy to cut curly hair, do you have any curl friends just like you? So what I'm looking for is a specific that she's connected to. Because when you look at people, they hang out with people like them. If you've got a blonde client, chances are she's hanging out with other blondes. So if you're into hand painting, do you have any girlfriends that work with hand painting just like this? I would be honored if you would send them. So you're looking for a specialty. So if it's a crafty color, a barber haircut, whatever it is, you want to hit that specific niche. Does that make sense? It's a goodie. Please send them. Unicorn hair, curly, long. I built a clientele on long hair. If you want to be busy in America, long hair is it. That short pixie is great, but I only do hair shows. Most of what we see in America is long, sexy, beautiful hair, which makes it so easy. So if you can work through the community of long hair, it's super easy to build. Put a ring on it. We talked about it earlier. I don't care who it is. The young lady I talked about, Trudy, has more hair on her chin than I do. I still took her picture. And as much as it sounds like I'm making fun of a client, let me just tell you the heart-stopping part. When we took Trudy to the ring light last time, you know what Trudy told my team? Nobody ever has taken my picture. Okay? That's why Starbucks can mention your name and light you up. I'm just saying, we gotta make a bigger deal. We are day makers. Do you think it's about cutting hair? Only with the permission of the guest. And the better day maker you are, the better you'll be, the more successful you'll be financially, the more loyalty, the more in demand you'll be. It's really that simple. So we put a ring on everything. We document everything. Two things can help me here. She comes in next time, I want to do the same thing again. I got a picture. I hated what you did last night. I got a picture. So I'm just saying it's a great way, if I'm talking about pictures and being able to really communicate where we understand each other. I'm not just thinking of the last 3 clients. These pictures can really help in forming a progression and evolution of a client. So put a ring on it, not just for Instagram. I love Instagram, and people say, I don't want to get into it. It's not just for putting your stuff on, it's for catching stuff you need. So if you take for one person, you're stealing. If you take for many, it's called research. I am a researcher. So I'm just saying, what I love about my Instagram page is the 17,000 people I follow, from the designers and the hats I wear to the fashion photographers, all that comes to me, as well as the top hairdressers in the world. You couldn't see all that action when you were just traveling. Now it's coming to me. So it's more than just posting to be popular. It's about taking documentation so you can show your clients you care. There's some of it you can post because more and more people are searching out people on the internet to find the next stylist based on what they've done, not what they said they can do. Talk is cheap. Do you know what this stands for? Q&A? Okay, good. Do you have a question? I knew you didn't. I knew you didn't. So, questions and answers. Mary's on the computer. If you ask me something that we didn't load, we'll load it up. I'll take anything you want to do. I think that, you know, salons, I don't know, I work in a salon, and people say, why do you still work in a salon? Because I've got to be the example. So last week I worked, and I had a $2,500 day plus take home, and 3 of my staff text me to congratulate me. We use an app in the salon called Caesar. You ever shot of that? I'll show it on your phone. This gives me real-time data linked to my POS system that lets me talk to everybody in the company, either at one time individually. So what I'm able to do is reward people. Like today I sent an email out, 4 people had over $150 in take home yesterday. They got a congratulations for me. Now some of these phone numbers on the top, it's not got their name on it. I don't even know who they are. When the text comes in going, well done, they go, who is this? And I go, it's okay, it's your boss, Robert. I think to keep millennials excited, you've got to keep showing them that you're watching. And the more they know you're watching, they know there's a system of what's next, the better off you'll do. Just talking on that, put 10 years in and here we go, that's not going to work for them. Hairdressing is about a lifestyle, and more people want a different lifestyle. I'm sure for me and Jamie and you know, we probably put lots of hours in. I used to work 78 hours a week. When I had assistants 20 years ago, they used to work 80 hours a week before we found out it was illegal. But that's how hard you had to work. And these days, it's not that way. People want to work 32 hours. So this is Zizar. It's a little app. It connects to any POS system, any computer you use, and it gives me real-time data. I'm moving too quick. Okay? Now, in one, it's got red and green. Green means good. Gives you individual, gives you product sales, gives you new gas can. On this, I can communicate. I can look at dailies. I can predict tomorrow's future. But I can really coach my team. This is the key to it. So everybody has visibility. So what I'm saying is not just do I have visibility to your numbers, you have visibility to everybody's numbers in locations that you don't even know. If numbers influence behavior, what would it mean for you if the person that used to assist you was now kicking your ass? What would you do? You'd quit or get up, right? So I'm just saying, sometimes people are motivated to stay. Sometimes seeing somebody like me, when I do real well, people go, look, if he can do it, I can do this. He's not that good. I'm just saying I'm a great benchmark. So I'm just saying when you kind of look at it, it makes a big difference. So that's called Zizar. It also has a thing called stack up. When you hit in the number, it'll show you how you stack up against the rest of the world. So you may think, I had a great day today, I had a $1,400 day. Well, you stack that up and see how I did compared to the rest of the world today. So I love it because the more you see the numbers, the more they make you think about things. So you start to visualize what an average ticket is on a KPI, or a take-home ticket, or a frequency of visit, all of those things. I'm going to give it back. I can keep it. So who's got a question for me? And Jeff, don't be shy. Thanks, Sarah. Don't be you can come all the way over here. I've got a short cord. And I've got a short bus, too.
How many days do you work?
Me, personally, 1 day a month. My goal is to work 1 day a year so I can compete with Santa Claus. I think that's an awesome job. Now, you ever see me on stage cut hair? I am probably the most fearless platform artist in the world, but you know what scares me? Driving to work on the day of doing clients. Real clients scare me worse than models, hair shows, or audiences. So I do 1 day a month. We're starting to really, I say, get into lifestyle. So people who want to work less, people who want to do it. I'm being a very flexible boss. I'm also being flexible in the future. If somebody says, all I want to do is color hair, then just color hair. If all I want to do is be a barber, then just be a barber. If all you want to do is cut hair, just cut hair. Because I can show you, through my own experience of being just a haircutter, that I can still have a $2,000 day without a chemical relaxer or hair extensions. So it's just a case of how you want to play, and that's the inclusive part. Instead of thinking this is how we all do it, we've got to look at individuals and say what would be right for you. If your passion is color and you're so good at it and you hate to cut hair, let's just focus on hair color. So we're starting to really come into this lifestyle. You know, working mothers want a lifestyle. They don't want to work 5 or 6 days a week. They may want to work 2 dangerous days. So when I look at a dangerous day in my mind in our salon, 1,000, 1,200, 1,300. You have 2 of those days a week. That's like most hairdressers doing a 5-day work week. Mary, what's your average ticket, sweetheart?
$235.
$235. And take home?
$25.
So $235. She needs 5 guests a day to hit over $1,000. That's not so hard. I could spend out here for 20 minutes to get 5 guests a day. You know, it's a case of wherever you go. If you're working out, you're not just working out for your body, you're working out for your clientele. If you're shopping at Vaughn's, don't think you're shopping at Vaughn's. You're looking for clients. I would love to do an FBI profile of my ideal guest. First of all, she'd have gray hair. Fact. White gray hair. Loves dimension, because that's a multi-technique. Loves change, hates to blow dry her own hair. Has more friends than anybody else I know. Likes to tell her friends about me and people who don't know her. She tells them too. So I'm just saying, when you really look at what you're trying to do, you've got a choice. Take what walks in or make a difference. To make the difference, to find the people that would rock to you. When you're walking down the hair with your pink hair, how many other people with crazy hair say, I love your hair? Right? Little girls this big looking, oh, there's my pink pony. And then there's other people looking at you going, taking the other sidewalk because they see you coming. They're like, oh my God, that girl's strange, she got pink hair. Like-minded people, if you got tattoos, other people with tattoos be liking you. Hat wearers, we be liking each other. There's so many great clients out there that are just right for you. Have you ever had a client you dislike? Yeah, terrible, right? She gives you that little inside. So I'm just saying, let's find more people that we love and enjoy that make you feel like an expert, and then when you're working all day, you won't feel like it, you'll feel happy. I talk about how much you work. Some people are working 5 days a week, can't lift the head up there, weaving their bobbin, and after a while they start to hate people. They start to hate people. Clients are talking about stuff, and then you're just not even listening, you're just hating on people because you're doing too much. Let's get smarter, see fewer people with more meaning. That way you're going to be genuinely excited, not worn out, not trying to squeeze everything in. If you work a little more structured, you don't need to be squeezing in, working so hard. Be focused on it. Have a strategy. Mary has a strategy. If she does 5 or 6 guests a day, which is not difficult, she's going to be over $1,000 in revenue. That's an incredible score. What other question? Jeff?
So one thing I love about having a group of hairdressers and salon owners is everyone's doing things differently, and there's a lot of information that gets passed around, which is great. Is anyone in love with their salon software company? Is there anyone that just, I love this software, you guys got to have it? Because we're looking, and we've got a lot of trouble. And if somebody's in love with it, I would love to know.
Well, I'm not part of the audience, but I would just say I like Millennium not where they're at, where they're going to be. They've just created a new product called Meebo, which I'm excited by. If you really want to do a little research, because you've got pretty big business here, John McCormick, I don't know if you know Johnny McCormick, he's looking into a new system right now, and he's connected with another guy who I respect. One of my salons gets 25,000 guests a year, 25,000 visits a year, which is pretty big. Then my other buddy, when I stand in his salon, he says, yeah, we get 85,000. And I'm standing outside his store, and I said, what did you do last year? He said, $1.5 million. I said, I beat you. He said, no, that was just a take home. Every day I'm getting my little feelings made more aware of what goes on out there. I'm not just giving you what I think, I'm giving you what I see every day when I'm out there. So his name is G. Juarez. They do about 120,000 visits a year. So I'm just saying, I like to go to the big data players because they're more likely to know than somebody running a system off of 4 chairs. It's not going to give you the data that would give you the information. So for these two guys, they help me the most because they have so much data that really helps. And that's a lot of why I chose John at Millennium, because he gave me data what the industry was doing. For example, $41 average ticket, 4 visits a year. Men, 7 visits a year. 14-year-olds, 4 visits a year. So I really partnered with him because I needed the data what the industry was doing. So software is always there, but the one thing I'll tell you, just like what I'm looking for, convenience. Am I going to do a weave, 5-color highlight, straightener, relaxer, have you sit here all day and then make you go stand at the desk to check out? Doesn't make any sense. So we got to start looking at convenience. I don't like a restaurant where you have to go pay at the end. I'd rather they brought me the check. So I think more and more you're going to see things like a concierge, somebody coming in and checking you in, putting you in your seat and checking you out, including take home, and off you go. No standing in line. So even desks in the future may not be as prevalent as they are today. Why not just an iPad? So more and more technology is going to take over the business. 10 years ago, you couldn't have sold software to any hairdresser. They didn't want it. Until one invention, the iPad, suddenly every hairdresser wanted technology. That's a beautiful thing, I don't mind it. So I would just say, at any level, even a small salon that we talked about, at any level I need the data. I don't care if you're an independent working alone, you still want the data, because if you can look at these numbers and make them more beneficial to you, you won't be working so hard, you'll be working the smart system. Everybody says it, but nobody shows you how. That's the key thing to it.
So
what other questions we got? I recognize you. You still in Hawaii? Oh, well, you said it like I'm a dumbass, but back here, I can see you. She's one of our future professional graduates. She moved to Hawaii for a while, and I seen her at Caper a few years ago, and you're back in Los Angeles. There you go. She's just beaming with redness there. I can do that to people. Welcome back. Any questions? Come on, don't be shy. I got prizes. Free drink tickets. What?
What is your best practice for building new stylists?
Building new stylists. Well, this is for you, Jeff. The guy I told you gets 123,000 visits a year. He doesn't give any new guests to the level 1 entries. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that's the way I want to do it. I'm prepared to feed you people, but you got to feed you. So as an owner, I believe this, and I think Andy could live with this. I'm prepared to do half the work if you do the other half. Meaning, if I'm going to give you 3 walk-ins, you bring in 3 of your reputation. And to me, that's the key. But what hairdressers sort of think is they're going to get fed walk-ins. And guess where they got that habit? It's called beauty school. They just come up and go, here's a ticket. Like it's a Willy Wonka magic ticket. Well, that's not how it works. In fact, most hairdressers, when they go to beauty school, don't even know how they're going to be paid. Right? They have no idea how they're going to be compensated. So they're not even aware of this stuff. Building a business. So when I'm in Paul Mitchell schools and they say, I love it so much, the way you show me you love it is by bringing in a guest. And I'm just saying that's something I want to really make a big deal about. So if I'm in a location like this, 72 walk-ins a month, I'm not just going to give those to anybody. Hands up if you work here and you're a senior player. Okay?
Yes, come on.
Are they usually so just dying to do it?
Does that mean I'm over 65?
No, it does not.
We didn't ask how old we were.
Here's what I'm just going to tell you. When we talk about reputation, experience, and demand, there's 3 levels in the salon. I'm going to say junior, master, stylist. In my salon, better for me to put it to an element 3 or 4 because first of all, they're going to make the client come back and get a bigger average ticket. So a lot of times what you're doing with your walk-in traffic, you're giving it to the weakest link. And I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but to get the deserving isn't just because you work here and you look pretty in black. Simple. So the way I would give you more walk-ins is by your indicators being honoring me. When I give you a walk-in, you upgraded them to color. When I give you a walk-in, you sold treatment. When I give you a walk-in, you rebooked them. When you had a walk-in for a haircut, she experienced color. I will reward that all day with traffic. But let's go to the opposite. I used to do this story. We have no bananas today. To the point, if I was running the desk and I looked at some of the people on the column that I knew had a likelihood not to bring the client back, a likelihood not to upgrade, not to upsell, not to rebook, not to give a great shampoo, not to truly honor the business like I know somebody with seniority would. I'm just saying, to that point, I would rather turn a client away than bring her in knowing she won't return. So I'm just being honest, and I'm just saying, I'm not here to bust your bubble. I'm just saying, if you want to get clients from me as the owner, you're going to show me through your indicators that you want them. You're going to show me through your reputation. On the computer, it gives you what your reputation count is. If your new request rate is 3%, as your coach, I would tell you, you suck. If it's more like 20, you're going to see more new clients. 1 in 5 are going to be new. You are growing your business. That is an absolute fact. It's not the Red Cross. It's not a charity. We don't own salons, Jeff. We own businesses. When you break it down to the business, what we've got to be really clear at, that you've got to do some of this work. You've got to bring in clients. If I see a kid in my company brought me in 3, I'm going to make sure she gets 3 walk-ins. I'm going to make sure. Because they know that the rewards come to those people who perform. Jesus said we're all created equally. I hate to disagree with them, we're not. Because what the industry's doing today is they're performing averagely, but they want a big paycheck. And even if you go freelance down the street, 100% of not a lot is not going to set you free. Okay? So it's got nothing to do with how we're paid. So I just think it's something we've got to look at and what we got to understand. So walk-ins are great. They can help build. But I want to see you take a walk-in, and I'm going to make a sure point that if you get one, as soon as she leaves, I'm going to ask you, how did that go? Went good. Did you sell in color? No. What happened? I didn't really talk about it passionately. What are you going to do next time? Next time I'm going to talk about it more passionately. That would make the difference. So if I'm going to give you a walk-in, if it's off of our reputation, I think I at least have the right to go ask, how did that work? That worked great. I upgraded them, I rebooked them. That's ding, 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 ding. That's all I want. I want you to see the value in performance. Because if you do the things you ought to do, the day comes you get to do what you want to do. That's where that $250 average ticket, that's where a frequency of visit 12 times. You don't need thousands of clients. But what I think about is the people who've been loyal to the program, that need clients just as much, and if I can give you 1 or 2 walk-ins, I know I'm going to get a bigger ticket from you, I'm going to get more loyalty, I'm going to get it. So I'm just saying, for the young kids, not just because you're here, you're going to show me through your performance. Now, how could you show me? In 1 week's of performance, I can tell you what type of hairdresser you're going to amount to if you don't change things. I can tell in beauty school. I was at a school once, somebody said, I've been going to school 5 years. I said, night school? She said, no, day school. And I'm coming to work for you. I said, no, you're not. You're going to have more days off than anybody in the world, because she's already showed me through her performance and skills she didn't show up. Can you build a business without showing up? Can you build a business by being tardy, being inconsistent, having days off here, days off here? These aren't how Nordstroms build a business. That's not the convenience we're looking for. So I'm just saying, it's the kind of honesty here. We are all going to be hiring millennials. I don't think there's a thing wrong with them. What we got to be better at is painting a picture of what the rules are and taking them on the story. What they want to know more than perhaps you and I did is what I got to do to get here. And that's where performance comes in the key. So if you got a goal for the average ticket, we want to get you the average ticket of $50, $60. And based on how you're paid, that's going to make a difference. So I'm just saying, we're not all equal. But just because you're young doesn't give you entitlement to just all the walk-in clients in the world. My people in Vegas fight over them. Fight over them. You imagine 6,000 a year, you get a lot here. I get maybe 5 times that in Vegas. And they are just waiting by the door like little, you know, like cannibals. Like, oh, there's that. Like, really? So I looked at it just last week, a quarter. We had 1,200 walked in the door, and they brought in 200. As their own guests. Now they had 400 or 500 on reputation, you know, regular requests, but as far as I look at it, it looked like a bad game there. It's like 1,200 to the salon, you brought in 200. If they just did 50% of the work, the salon would have at least another 40,000 a quarter in revenue. We all got to do it. That's why numbers can really help you lead the team. So it's not just telling them to do better, showing them every little increment. An inch is better than a mile in the right direction. So all I'm asking for in my culture and any hairdresser, to shift 10%. I'm not looking to Willy Wonka, magic Harry Potter stick and da-da, you're a superstar. Just don't suck so much, suck less every day. One of my coaches said that this week. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna try that one. Suck less. But I'm just saying, as an industry, we're not doing the best we could. We're not doing the best to retain clients. We're not doing the best to get the maximum ticket. So I'm just saying, we gotta do better, and no matter what you want can come true. This is an easy business. To be nice to people is easy. Celebrate the walk-in traffic. Celebrate the victories, and when people kill it and get the right performance, make a big deal about that. Don't dwell on the people who aren't here. Don't leave this class tonight and go, well, such and such never came. I'm never worried who never came. I'm only here for the people who did. And I'm just saying, that's where my focus is all the time. It's just keeping the focus on the people who get it. These are the visionaries, and that's all you gotta talk to every single day, the visionaries. I lost my prizes, Jeff, but I know I got them somewhere. Who else got a question? Also, Jamie, don't feel left out here. I know you be running that desk. Yes?
When you change, you introduce new product, and you love this product, and then another new product is expensive.
How do I switch them?
Without feeling like you're not authentic?
Well, there's a couple of ways here. First of all, that's great right there. I won't get in my way. Thanks, Jeff. You got a water walker's hat. Where did you go? Where'd you go? Who was it just asked me the question? You. I know. My head's always clear. So what she said is, I got a client who's buying, we sold on something, we want to switch that order. One thing I want you to focus on is all the clients that don't buy first. So in all the scenarios I want you to play with is the don't buy. But here's what I love. When the new iPhone comes out, do we ever question the upgrade? So it's the latest technology. This is the latest technology. Oh, you told me this was really good. This is the latest technology. Okay, I'll have it. Words are everything, just making the difference. But sometimes when you really listen to a consultation, you hear what they said, there may be something. If she said, last time I got split ends, but this time you heard her conversation differently, she was concerned about heat, you could easily go to a new product based on what you said today. Because you said you're worried about the blow dryer damaging your hair, why don't we try this instead? And if you like the other, we'll switch back. I'm just saying, that's an opportunity. But what I'll find is most people will focus on me going, what if the client never buys it? Let's not focus on her, let's focus on the people that are gonna buy. I was in a salon once and all the product was behind the desk. I said, why is it behind the desk? Because people are gonna steal it. I said, people will buy more than they will steal. So it's just one of those things. You move closer to what you focus on. Let's focus on people wanting to buy from us. Focus on the people you feel the instincts that are interested. And the ones that don't, so what? There's 10 possibilities. 2 may never go anywhere, and then one day they'll surprise you. But the reality is most people waste their time on the 2 that will never buy. Let's focus on the 8 that are buying, and let's get, instead of $6, let's get 12. Right? So I'm just saying, let's really become almost QVC-like. Let's really get clever. What is the maximum you can get? Here's a little example. It could be any goal. We could use your rent here. Let's just say if our rent was $10,000, I'm going to create a goal of $20,000. Now, there's commissions and a couple of things, but I'm just going to go with $20,000. Are you open every day, Jeff?
6 days a week.
Tuesday to Wednesday, so about 20 days a month.
6 days a week. So,
24.
6 days a week, 24 days. So here's what I do. His rent, maybe $10,000. He didn't tell me that, I made it up. I did that, I can do that. So if I wanted to pay my rent using retail sales, my goal would be $20,000 in take-home sales. Who's with me so far? So right now we work on individual performance, which is lovely. This is not an individual, this is a team sport. So in order for me to hit the $20,000 a month, if I divide 24 days into it, it'll show me how much I need to bring in a day. So I'll tell you this, if you go into any salon and go into the break room and leave a $100 bill, you go in at the end of the day, it'll be there. But if you go in and leave a sandwich or a salad or a cookie, people just be getting all over it, right? So our incentive in our salon, and at the 7 locations, is different everywhere, and I'm saying rent, it could be any goal you want, we do free lunch. So let's just say I got a salon that's $5,000 a month rent. Our goal is 10, you divide it, if I'm open 7 days a week, I divide it by 30. I can't divide it by how many staff members, but that's not the goal I'm looking for. In some of my salons, for $600 a day in take-home sales, I buy the crew lunch for the next day. If you're the top take-home artist, you get to pick the lunch. So if you have a big day, not only you in the room, some people sold 0, but they're eating a big hoagie because of you, and they're going to thank you. I'm just saying, let's get people incentivized to see the values of what we're doing. So free lunch, and that's kind of one that I do. It could be any goal you had. If our goal here is to have a $15,000 day, if you do this, Jeff and Jamie are going to buy you free lunch, that's an obtainable goal that we could really aim for. And to me as an owner, the reason I like it, if you're as busy as I think you're going to be the next day, nobody's running off to get a pizza. It's all coming in, so it's helping them be more efficient. But hairdressers love food. We eat like nobody else in the world. You ever go to dinner with non-hairdressers? The bread basket comes. You've devoured it before even these poor strangers had a chance. You're already finished everything on your plate, and they're just biting through their first tomato on a salad. Like, what is wrong with these people? We we go hours without eating. Hours without peeing, but I'm not going to go into that this time. That's a whole other class. What else we got? What else we got? Did I answer that okay for you? Michael?
Yeah, I just want to know, like, how do you address someone whose KPIs maybe aren't really where you want them to be?
Yeah.
Like, how do you address it? Do you feel like it's lazy or
Let's be honest, there is a bit of lazy here and there. I'm lazy. No, I am. I was telling Mary, she goes, no, you're not. I had a kid come in and said one day I'm a hard worker as he sat on my wall with his hands on his pocket. I go, I bet you're not. Everybody's got different levels of that, but I will just say that to be fair, and especially as a coach, I don't care what your indicator is, I'm going to help you get better. So if it's 23 and I can get you to 27, we're doing better. And if I get you from 27, you just got to be patient. Now, is it right for everybody? It goes back to the 2 customers that don't want retail. Not everybody's right for your culture. So the question is, what do we do from here? Because you're not a fit here. Because every time you tolerate people who aren't doing, you're giving permission for the guys that know better to say, I'm not going to do it. It's like timekeeping. You may have somebody who comes in every day, absolutely on time. And they notice other people coming in late and never get into trouble. So then in the case of, well, why does it matter? Even though I'm keeping the rules, I'm not going to work because nobody else does. So I'm just saying, I don't worry on if they suck and meaning you're not approving. You get a 30-day notice and we let you go. We fired a guy this week. Guy was killing it. Retail days, $320. But there was other things wrong with him. He had the crazy eye. And he was trying to look at me because I'd been experienced. I knew he wasn't for me, but I didn't hire him, and either way, he got fired this week. If you really want to protect your culture, you've got to have the strength to be true to your team. So when people are messing up, as much as it hurts, they got to be let go. If it's not a fit and you're not growing from $21 to $22, then you're not a fit for the company. Most people with a great explanation, and don't forget, the reason isn't always the KPI. The reason could be the house she wants, the dress she wants. It may never be the science we're talking about right now. There's a reason for the season. There's something that would motivate her that may not be on the dollar bill. Okay? And it may not be because we'll have a better business. It may be none of those things. But I'm just saying, for me, I want to help kids see the value of being dangerous behind the chair. Dangerous, so you can make a living behind the chair, whether it's 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, whatever you want, you can make the living you dreamed of. For some of you, maybe 100,000. For some people, 60,000. If you live in Oklahoma, it could be 40,000. I'm not judging what that is. Not everybody wants dollar bills or the fancy car. You've got to trigger each individual. Not everybody wants to be a platform artist like we are. Not everybody wants to be a teacher. But so I'm not going to go, you should go teach. Because I hate to teach. I hate talking in front of people. You can't pick people's goals. They got to see what calls them. I think that's a big part. But I will be a patient coach at any level as long as you're growing a little bit away. And I've had some go nice and slow and easy that get it. But I've had some that just resist, don't see the value in it, don't get it, and they don't work there anymore. It's tough, tough, tough. But you will see the team pick up when you let somebody go. That used to be my dream as an owner, to fire somebody one day. Most owners could not fire them. You'd be in a salon and some guy would be like axe murdering a guest, and the owner's like, oh, you don't know, he had a bad day, he's had a lot of complications in his life. That's the emotional side, and I am done with that. Jamie and I talked in Hawaii a few years ago. I said, I don't get involved with the emotion. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, But I am not going to work with you professionally on the emotional side of things. I work on the facts, the data. I'm doing such a good job. No, you're not. It's really incredible when you can humble somebody with the numbers of their application. So it's not just, I don't think you're doing good, or I don't feel you're doing good. I can show you. Let's flip it. Let me show you how good you're doing here. Every client you touch is coming back. Celebrate that. But what I do see is not enough of this is happening. So let's work on that. So just like I talked about on treatments, it's not hitting all 7 indicators at once. Let's just focus on that. Right now my focus, bring in a new client. Bring a new client to work day. That's my t-shirt slogan. Seems so stupid, but I think if we all did, it would make a big difference. If every stylist in the company brought a new client in, we'd be into double-digit growth. So if you really take the opportunity that's out there every single day, nice people just like you, they smile, just say them. You see a smile on their face, I love working on people like you. You don't even need to bring up hair. Just, I love people like you that smile every single day. You should come see me. You'll have a ball in my salon. It doesn't even need to be hair related. It doesn't always have to be. Just a smile, just a comfort. I was cutting a client's hair once and she explained to me what it was, and I had people send redos to me that other staff of mine had done. And they said, oh, she's crazy. I said, okay. I started talking to her. I said, she's not crazy. You didn't listen. It's there. You've got to listen to what they're telling you. And you'll see that they're not the crazy ones. You were. Because you weren't listening to the degree. I'm a very good listener. It makes a big difference. So I'm just saying, there are enough great people out there that want to be loved and touched. There's so many potential clients out there. I thought that was the Patron truck. Sorry, just... What else we got? We had one in the corner there behind Michael. Do you have a question? You were just helping Michael. Who else had something? I seen something. Did I give you a gift, Michael? You got a hat. Who didn't get a gift when you asked the question? She's like, I never got a gift. You never gave me my gift. I see you in that trucker hat. Yes, you're a mother trucker. Yes, well done.
But I have a sister.
Yes, you get a question.
We have a coffee salon. Knowledge coffee salon. How do you explain to us for me to, if we have a new hairdresser salon that they have to use coffee salon, how you motivate them to love brand as we do, and to make them they feel the way we do.
Well, she brings up a good point. How do you motivate them? It's kind of like I said, who wants to be a platform artist? I can't really motivate you to do that. You've got to see what you want. What I would suggest is you show them DVDs and videos and brochures and have them do some home play, we call it. First thing you want to do is do some home play. Next thing I believe in hairdressers, find out of Paul Mitchell what would really work well on your hair. When I look back at 1980 Paul Mitchell, more hairdressers use sculpting foam on their hair. More hairdressers use the conditioner on their hair. As a result, they were able to make the endorsement. We make over 170,000 things, so I don't want you to become a flimsy, not knowing anything. I want you just to focus on this. What do you like in your hair? I like extra body. Let's just focus on extra body. Get that done. Tea tree, just simple little things, bit at a time. The ones that you believe in the most too. So don't say, well, this is kind of weird, we don't sell much of that, learn that. No. Let's go for the moneymaker. Go for the ones you can't miss with. Marula, the mask, can't miss with that. I'm just saying, there's certain things I would compare, I bet you, Jeff, our top 20 sellers. I've got Marula Awapui, Forever Blonde, Ultimate, obviously tools of every dimension, especially neuro. Tea trees in there. Am I missing anything, honey?
Rich.
Yeah? So when you look at the kind of top sellers, that's the nudge I want to get into. I'm not trying to make them do some work on things we don't sell. I want to get you into the things that are ha ha ha. Make sense? Joey, you're trying to wrap. You're feeling a question? The whole front row is lighting up now.
Well, what about if by any chance any of the stylists keep complaining about the color line? If you personally really like the color line, you love the way it looks on a gray hair or just any red hair, but they keep finding any little excuse not to like the color. What do you do then?
This is a biggie. You know, when color goes wrong, the first person you're going to blame is the company. I mean, it's just a reality. And because we're teachers, we see people don't put the color on right, meaning they haven't saturated and then wonder why it's like, well, you didn't get it in there. It's not, it's really, the more you understand through education, the more you understand, because color is a universal thing. It's not really universal to Paul Mitchell. It's universal with the color wheel, it's universal with the law of science. It's just one of those things. So oftentimes when I see failure, I see hairdresser failure. I'm not saying as a manufacturer we can't make a mistake, of course we can. But generally speaking, like I'm watching a kid do a highlight. up in Beverly Hills. He mixes one of my lighteners, and he's slow. He's going, and I'm watching down on the floor, and about 2.5 hours later, he's still putting them in. He's never remixed. Start at the back, and my little spider sense is tingling. So at the back, he's mixed 40 volumes, so he basically had 6 minutes back here. He's still working away. At the end, he said, I finished that. Should I charge her more? I said, because you're slow. Because if you don't know what developer does, if you go to 40 volume, you've got 4 to 6 minutes. You go to 20, you've got maybe 15 minutes. So I suggest remixing. Any other way, you're actually going to find it not working if you're on an hour-and-a-half application, just the fact of the matter. So I would just say that most of it's easy to point the finger. All I would say is whenever you look at your hand, pointing the finger, look at your hand. 3 are pointing right back at you, baby. It generally, human condition, not understanding, misjudged it, undermined it, thought that was light enough, thought that would be too dark. What's the hairdresser's biggest fear when you're covering grey? You want to know what it is? Too dark. Too light, you just double dose it. Too dark, you're like, you know how they say don't use that, it'll make the color fill? You're like using it and it's still not, still black as black. All I'm saying is all the time the sort of things we deal with is often the hairdresser making the thing, and we know we do. Even when they come back the next time, you're farting around with a formula, mixing all of this, a little that. People say, I love the color. You're like, oh my God, I don't know which one it was. You've got like 17 in the bowl. It's like shit. So I'm just saying, color is something you've got to be educated on. There's rules of color, and when you can see and show me something went wrong apart from the rules, I'll say, absolutely, we claim it. But in most cases, people are stretching the boundaries, doing things that aren't quite right because nobody's watching them, and then right away, it's the color. It's like if a perm goes frizzy, it's the perm. It wasn't the jackass perm I wrapped, it was the perm. Those fish hooks came in the box, it wasn't me. Young man, have you ever wrapped a perm? Yeah, I knew it, because you were looking at me going, what is he talking about? We were in the salon last week, we talked to one of our stylists, Jeff, about the book. When we used to have a book, and she goes, what was a book? Meaning, just in a few short years, like, stylist in my country doesn't even know what a paper book looks like. So I'm just saying, we deal a lot with education. We have over 1,000 educators, some of them are here tonight. Things can go wrong. As I say, as a manufacturer, we're putting color out around the world. Have we ever made mistakes? Absolutely, as well as every other color company. But 90% of what we hear on our 1-800 line is people just doing really dumb things with it and then going, it didn't work, and believing us, which is not the case. You have to look at your own professional knowledge, your own professional responsibility, but you've got to believe. You've got to believe, and you've got to be able to almost investigate. When they have failure, you investigate that, look at it. Well, I would have used a 4, not a 5. I'd have went this instead of that. I'm just saying, people are so quick without experience to blame it on other things. And yet, the difference between 10,000 hours of practice when somebody's only had a year in school doing 6 clients a month, that doesn't make you an expert. So to me, it's having humbleness. When you make a mistake, here's one clue. You make a mistake on somebody's hair, smile. I am so sorry, your hair is green. Instead of, that's what you asked for, bitch. You know, that's not fair. I go to a store called Walgreens. It's fancy. And unlike my beautiful fiance, who you can tell by her beauty, she sleeps. She likes to sleep in the morning. I'm old, I get up. 5, 6, I'm up on my Facebook, on my Instagram, stalking you all. Go for coffee at Starbucks. They love me there. I'm there every day. Once I walked in with Mary, they said, oh, you got a friend. They just think I live alone with cats or something. And I go to this local store, it's a Walgreens, and it's 5 and 6 in the morning, I'm just buying random stuff. And when I walk up to pay for the guy says, do you want a candy bar? And I'm like, it's 5 in the morning. Who eats candy bars at 5 in the morning? So I ignore it the first time. But over going again and again and again, this guy keeps saying every morning, do you want a candy bar? And I'm like, what am I, a fatty? What is going on here? And I eventually one morning said, why do you keep trying to sell me candy bars? He said, brother, it's my job. And then he said, be well. And I said, you be well, man. Be well's their slogan. They have to say it to everybody. Go to Carl's Jr. When you drive up to the drive-thru, they won't say, they're going to ask you, you want to try the new bacon cheeseburger. They're always going to sell you something new, because that's their jobs. Used to walk into Hardee's before they were taken over by a big conglomerate, and the owner walked into Hardee's one day and walked right up to the cash register and stood there, and the person on the other end just stood there. And nobody said anything. And he said, we better start scripting. And then they put a script, said, when a client walks in, say, hello, welcome to Carl's Jigger. Just simple stuff. The dialogue, the exchange of people, the words we use are so critical to how people feel about it. And the one thing I'll tell you, just like fewer clients, more meaning, it's fewer words, more meaning. You don't need to be big, wordy Robin Hood to make things simple to a guest. Simple words are going to help get you there. Don't think when I'm behind the chair, I'm talking hours and hours with each client. I talk in the consultation, we get all that stuff going, but when I go to work, it's kind of a silent movie. It's not a lot of interaction. If there is any dialogue, often I'm teaching the rising star what I'm doing. Nothing will make a client think they've got the best haircut in the world. And then I took this precision laser, and the young assistants watching like they're learning the secrets of the universe, and the client's never going to forget what just happened. So don't be alarmed to teach people what you're doing, even fellow stylists, because the client will see such value. Why do I love the color bars? Because you mix in front of the client. It's like a Caesar salad. Because you know you can go to the supermarket and buy a box, but after watching me mix 4, you would need 4 boxes. That doesn't make it cheaper, does it? You ever done a client's hair? She goes, well, I know people that are, cheaper than you are. Well, I know people that are more expensive than I am. It's just a case of reference. So the more you see what a color bar is, it's a defense against supermarket color. Because she sees me mixing 3 or 4 flavors to make an ideal tone that builds that professional authority that I want her to see in me. The old way is we disappear and come back with a mystery bowl with Big Mac in your tooth, acting like you were back there mixing a science project. You were not. You were eating your lunch is what you were doing. So for Jeff and I, we brought the color bar out because we want to celebrate color. We want people to see it in a tour when they walk in the salon. We're able to tour them, go, this is the color bar where we celebrate color. That's going to get you an upgrade. That's dialogue. And it's not a case of having a menu up front. That may not sell it as well as somebody giving you a tour of the building. So I'm just saying, when you start working with me, the first thing you're going to do before you shampoo, you're going to be touring that building all day long, showing the ways that a client can enjoy spending money with you. And if you've got nails or waxing or tanning, that'll be a great way through a tour to show people what you got available. Does that make sense? Hoo-ha, that's no tequila. That's none. What else we got? Come on. Ready? You got one for me? Rental, because she brought the elephant in the room up, didn't she?
Can you repeat the question, Robert?
No. Yes, of course I will. Question was, and I just want to change a word. The word rental is not sexy, let's call it freelance. Is that fair enough? Would it surprise you to know that I'm a freelance stylist with Paul Mitchell? And yet, there's times you must think I own the company. So I'm just saying, first of all, how we're paid is irrelevant. And there are people that see value, and I told Jeff this in the call today. I called Jeff in the car. I said, Jeff, I thought I'd call you today and talk about your class next Monday. Just like, what? I knew it was tonight. But I started Business Revolution with a simple statement. I said 60%, and let me tell you what 60% is. 60% of our beauty industry is independent. And I just said to a lot of commission salon owners, I said 60% of the industry would rather work alone than work with you. Ponder. It's like having a rocking body. That can leave you too. Having a pretty salon alone is not it. Right? Having a great location is not it. It's the culture. There's so many things that make it right. You understand me? So if I want to be appealing to people who work with me, I got to make this a fun place to work. There's got to be free lunch. There's got to be reasons when I come in, I'm seeing all these smiley team members' faces. And that's why when you let negativity live, it doesn't brighten a salon, it makes a salon down. It makes a salon be unhappy to come to work with each other. In my salon, the thing I'm the most proud about is not the numbers, it's just the way the team work together. Everybody in my salon is an assistant when they're not busy helping one another. I won't shampoo for you, but I will pass foils, I'll cut hair for you, I'll entertain, I'll make French press for your guests. Meaning we show a team atmosphere, and that's the culture. So people say, we've never seen a salon like this, everybody's helping each other. That's a good thing. So it's the culture we're trying to protect, always. So take a train off the track, independent stylists, I'm just saying, if they don't know the first part of the seminar, they're not going to do well, because I used to think rental was free. And then one of my friends, Kim Bennett, rents a space in Denver. And it's a small space with 2 chairs. She said, I pay my rent with retail. I was not impressed. I said, what is your rent? She said, $24,000 a year. I had to sit down. So it's not free, So right away, if you're going to do money in that, and you got 24,000 rent, I'm going to suggest you better be hitting 100,000 plus, because 24 off of that. I have salons with 2,400 rent. She's got 2-chair suite. So I'm just saying, there's a serious side of it. But what we got to understand, if we're commission play, that we got to be the funnest place in the world. We got to be the funnest career path. We got to be the place where people can get their dreams happening. That's the key. Now some people are just switching straight away to booth life, and that's fine, but they've never had this experience. Some are part of this experience and say, well, I'm going to go down the street and probably make more money. Because the thing is, if these indicators aren't right, eventually you're going to look at not being a great hairdresser, not really hitting all the numbers, bringing in $1,000 a week and thinking, how much can I take off of that? Well, even if I was generous and off my head and wanted to pay you 70% on $1,000 a week, guess what? You're still not making money. So it's not about that. And if I look at the difference financially, there's about a 10, I want 100,000 plus, there's $10,000, $20,000 difference between the revenue. But what's the deal is you don't have somebody to coach you, somebody to help you, somebody to do it. Now, if you're not coaching, not helping, not doing, then why wouldn't they go somewhere else? So what we got to do is to protect our culture. We got to make it a funner place. We got to make it more of a reason that people celebrate, not just our clients, the staff. Happy staff will make happy clients, and the opposite is true too. So if people are frustrated because they're not making money, if it's your fault because you're paying them 12%, then shame on you. But if the reality is they're not doing their job, what can you do? You're not their parents, you can't just love them. I'm just saying, you've got to show for me because it's a business. So I'm just saying, people move on. I talked to Mary about this the other night. I had one salon lost 1.9 million in a walkout between 2008 and 9. Almost within 6 months of another. Devastating. That's when the Jeff came down to San Diego. So a couple of things Jeff and I have, and I don't know if you still have it, we have a corporation called One. Let's say you worked for me for years. They may come a point I'm going to ask you to go freelance. Because I don't want to pay your taxation dollars on that big amount. I can show you how to make a better living, I'm just saying. So I actually got an idea from Jeff that we use. We have a daily occupancy rate in our salon for $100. It's not cheap, but I've got a prime location. And 20% of your thing, I call it an occupancy rate. Okay? So to me, $100 isn't inexpensive. I'm not trying to compete with everybody else doing it because I'm a different type of salon, because you're still getting all the benefits of working with a team. Because if there's any deal breaker, I think some people want to be locked in a room alone with a guest. I think I'd scare the shit out of people. And other people want to play with a team. Who's like that? I'm not saying this for everybody. My girl Mary said her deal breaker in life is playing with a team. Being with a team is the most fun. And I think it's true. When I'm in the salon, I'm with the whole team. I love it. But just to be doing somebody's hair at home and just me and you time, let's put your color on and then talk while it processes for 45 freaking minutes. There's certain clients you don't want to be locked in. I'm just saying, it's up to you. I'm not judging, not judging. And if I was going to get in, and I may get into some freelance type of things, bigger situations, but if you were going to rent space, I'd recommend 2 chairs, not 1. So not to dog on it, I'm just saying, if you're a smart girl, if my Mary went freelance tomorrow, she'd make a living because of what we taught her. But most of the people going out there are seeing on an average $400, $500 a day and going, that's the most I can do, which is all you can do on your own steam. What would be the value you have a rising star that can shampoo for you, do simple blow dries, help set up your highlights? There's values we got to talk about as owners every day to show the value of working here. Why do we work here? And it can't just be coming from owner to owner. We've got the prettiest salon in the world. That's not gonna cut it. That's not hard body stuff again. Nobody cares. The reasons that we work here is the things you want to celebrate. It's the cultures, how we support one another, it's the education, who we have access to. There's so many reasons. If you're doing all those things, people will never leave you. And I'm just saying that when I see people losing, I'm just saying, when I lose a stylist, I don't think, well, they sucked. I think I suck. I think I sucked as an owner that I never told them what it was they needed to know. And I'm just saying, every time I've lost one, I lose sleep over it. Because you've invested lots and lots of money. But what I will say is, let's look at it just like clients. What if we could keep every stylist we hire and build new ones? Suddenly, everybody's working 3 days a week and being dangerous. One of my buddies said, I lost 3 stylists, I need 9 to make it up. I go, there's the answer. Because the 3 stylists were bringing in $350,000 a year. That is not a passionate job. That's making donuts. That's an assembly line at Ford. So I'm just saying to be happy. What makes you happy? What fills up your love tank? It's not being bombarded on non-stop with clients. Having a nice pace you control that's financially rewarding for both the salon and you. I want people to make money. The only reason I want to hear when you say I don't want to work here is you don't want to do hair. I don't want you to say you hate people so bad I'm not going to do hair. But to go down the street doesn't mean you're going to do better. And the reason I know, because I look at your indicators and it tells me everything's about to happen to you. I see no new requests, which when you go to this non-location and no new clients are coming, you're going to lose 1 in 5. 20% of your business will never come back. I don't care if you were Vidal Sassoon. I'm sure they made a better deal for the moment, but what they cheated themselves out is what was possible. Are there freelance hairdressers out there kicking it? Truth is, yeah. There are a few. There is 20% of everybody that's an overachiever. I'd have been the worst freelance hairdresser in the world. I'd start off my first week's run, I'd be there every day. I'd be in my neighborhood passing out cards. And then the next week I'd say, you know what, I'm not going to go in today. I'll catch that client on Thursday, I'll reschedule her to here. And then suddenly over time I just start to diminish my book. How many of you think you'll do better because you have a boss? I do. Having JP look down some things at me and tell me what I got to do, I mean, it's a powerful gesture, right? If it wasn't for JP, what would I do with myself? I would self-destruct. So sometimes people just need somebody to be accountable to. I think most hairdressers are like that. We want to be accountable to somebody. Because when you leave it all up to us, I tend to get a little lazy, we tend to work a little less, start to become people's friends, suddenly you're not charging as much, suddenly you're not even getting raises because there's nobody to give you one. You stop getting gratuities because now you're the owner. I can see 100 reasons, but that's not a reason to stay in a commission salon if it's not fun. Not a reason to stay in a commission salon or team-based paid if you're not making a living. I'm just saying, it's a fact. And the industry is bigger than we know. If 60% are freelance, that's something we got to consider every day. But I still think we can do it. I don't fear it like I don't fear the internet. It's just one of those things. Was that a 0 time or a love heart?
I love hearts.
Who's got one more critical question? Young man in the suit there, you're a hairdresser?
I'm not.
I can spot you, man. You know why everybody else is visualizing me naked but you? What's up there? Now what do you do?
I'm the full service manager of Cosmoprof.
Okay, fantastic. Cosmoprof, great partners of ours. Do you have a question for me?
You've answered everything.
I sure do, don't I? I try and get them all out there. Let's close it up with a question. No, come on. You don't do hair either. I can spot you guys out there. That's how long I see people think they're watching, you know, I've been watching you wrestle with stuff, watching you.
So when do you know when you're ready to open your second salon? They're owners of a loft in Downey. When are they ready to open a second salon? And also, when are they ready? And also, what are the steps to open?
Well, readiness, I want to follow up with you. You put my website up. I would want to see, if you said to me, Robert, are we ready for a second location? Show me your data and I'll tell you. Most salons, including the one I'm in right now, it's 60% dangerous. I mean, I have no business moving to another because I'm only 60% committed. And most salons I look at are most of the time not as busy as we think we are. We have busy times, but not every moment. Yeah, so it seems like our ego takes over. Oh, we should open multiple locations. This is coming from experience. Dumb idea. If you got one that's winning so good, and it's winning so good, and you're so forced because you can't hold people, you can't hold team, because all the cultural things are working, then yes, absolutely open another. But what you will see is kind of like raising kids. Once you open the other one, everybody feels neglected over here. What about me? You don't see me anymore. I'm just saying, I would do it if it's your passion, if you just really don't want a life, and go for it. But to me, if I could turn it back and I wasn't a Paul Mitchell guy and I didn't want to set an example all over the country, and I just to do one well would be my answer. And if you find out of that one well, it is so strong that it can be duplicated, because I have a strong culture, so does Paul Mitchell, but the culture in my Oklahoma salon is not identical to San Diego. So San Diego, our big store does $2.5 million, our little one on a $50, $60 ticket does $1 million on the beach. That Oklahoma is a very different culture. It's got black, they're wearing black, they're out on the phone, they're doing the same thing, but they're not exactly the same. So I'm just saying, Vegas for me, I get beautiful salons in there, the culture's slightly different. So emulating the culture once Jesus loves you. And if you think you can just go recreate it, you're Ray Kroc, watch out, danger, Will Robinson. But if you want to send, Mary will give you my email, If you want to let me look at it, I'll tell you exactly what would be the indicator to say I'm going to open another one. And that's got a lot to do with more than just what you see. It's rent, it's maximum profitability, it's all those things. And profit is a big thing here. Most salons don't see a lot of profit. If you've got great profit, things are working, I'm just saying. And if you did want to go multiples, if I was doing it, Jeff, I'd do it with staff. I have partners in Vegas, been with me 17 years. I gave them 10 points to the salon each, so they're working for me now and forever. Yeah, so I'm just saying, as I look to my new goal of what I want to build, if we're going to partner, you've been working for me and we want to partner, then I'm prepared to go to a new location. Why I know Jeff does so good here with his beautiful wife Jamie is because they're on site. What helps most owners work is this double partnership, being on site. When it's not a partnership, you're doing it alone, it's hard. So I'm just saying, if you're the business guy, you got enough team and manpower, absolutely. I'm not trying to kill the American dream, but I just see that most people do the multiples, do 3s and 4s, and yet they were never ready because they've never maximized one. If you can make rent shrink to 2%, when rent is 2%, come talk to me. But anything larger than that, you're just picking up more overhead, more burden, more responsibility. I don't know if that's going to work, but again, I could be wrong. You look like a very astute business guy. I look like an idiot, so don't know if I would listen to you. Just gotta be honest, you know? Just gotta be honest. So, here's what we're gonna do. I've been waiting to say this all night. We're gonna go out back and drink Patron and listen to a band. Jeff, I want to thank you. I hope it's what you wanted, and for my sales team here, I got very excited. We were on a call the other day, and you know, I probably had more followers on Instagram from Los Angeles. We used to do all my hair shows as a kid. We started in Long Beach, the ice show. I used to be big news up in Los Angeles. And we want to start again with the business reality of it. We want to help salon owners. And I think Jeff hit it right on the head when we started. The reason why you want to be a Paul Mitchell-focused salon or be involved with us is because you inherit the cat in the hat. We want to help your businesses. I work for Sport Clips, which is a company that did $3 billion last year in men's haircuts. I work for some of the greatest organizations in the world, and I don't work for anybody until they tell me the numbers. And through that, it gives me incredible insight to what the beauty industry is. This isn't just my theory on the 5 or 6 salons I own. It's based on hanging out with some of the smartest, most dangerous salon owners. When you see some of your heroes on stage crying because they lost people, it's tough, it's tough. So I'm just saying, this is no joke to me. What keeps you humble is being a salon owner, but I just want to say, for the sales team, for Jeff, your beautiful wife Jackie, bringing us up. Jackie, I said, Jamie, I had it. I just thought Jeff and Jackie kind of went better. I just thought, actually, I was outside thinking we should call it the Jackie Salon. It was just a thought I had. No. I just know when I hung with them, Jeff's like me, groovy hairdresser, but I know that Jamie's working the helm. She runs the response. She's working all those little things, and it's not easy. So having some people to do it with makes it easier. So when you do have challenges, I love a challenge. I'm not saying the world is challenge-free. I love a problem. I'm a problem solver by nature. So when you have a challenge, you're having a situation, or you're thinking about negotiating rent, or you're thinking of hiring more stylists, whatever it is, I'd love you to just email it to me. I absolutely give you an answer within a few days, unless I'm on a show somewhere. And you know, it just makes me smarter. And if I can help your business do better, then more than buying shampoo for the ingredients, the reason you're buying this company has more to do with the people behind it. People like JP, Angus, myself. I won't do hair shows for much longer. I've got a couple of years left in me. I love them. But the reality is my career is going to be more business applied as I move forward. I'm just going to be thinking business. We want to take Business Revolution to the internet every month, because I don't think talking about your business once a year is enough. So we want to keep doing it. Profiling salons like Epic, profiling great people that are doing great things from around the industry so we can all be inspired by it. And that to me is my legacy of what I want to leave behind. Being a salon owner is not easy. Doing hair is not too hard, but being a salon owner, you're taking on huge responsibility. You're going to be coaches with people. Sometimes you got to tell people stuff they don't want to hear. Like, how do I run up to somebody who's wearing a crop top that shouldn't be? I once was told to go have a chat with somebody on personal hygiene. How do I do that? I'm like, I was just standing next to them and I'm like, whoo, wow, that's hot. Wish we wore deodorant today. Even on difficult stuff, at what risk are you as an owner or boss going to take to get somebody over the hill? You gotta take risks. When I first hired my business coaches, she told me I looked better from a distance than I did up close. That was risky. I could have fired her. But to me, at what risk? If I want to help you grow your business, can I be honest with you? Yes. How honest? It's gonna hurt, right? That's the honesty we need with our team. That's the trust. We need to create cultures with a safe environment, a safe place that people trust us, feel secure, that it's a winning attitude, that people are winning and succeeding, and everybody's helping one another. That's a simple thing. I don't think it's simple to get, but that's my simple wish list, and every day I'm striving for it, like some of you are. Some days I've had it so packed, so filled, I think it'll never go wrong, and then suddenly, boom, things change. No business is guaranteed to stay forever. Tower Records, where did they go? Blockbuster, there is no entitlement forever that a business, just because you open it, is going to last forever unless we keep adapting. Vidal Sassoon, I'll close on this, he was a good friend of mine. But there was a hairdresser before him called Teasy Weezy. Teasy Weezy was the first hairdresser to have a jet airplane. He had an entourage bigger than Puff Daddy, 6 stylists traveled with him everywhere. And when precision cutting became the norm, Teasy Weezy said, that'll never catch on. That'll never be big. And he died a poor pauper. From a jet to pauperhood. Vidal Sassoon, when he brought the hairdryer to America, he called it the hand dryer. He showed it to America, and America said, that'll never catch on. Now every single bathroom, every salon in the world has a hand dryer. I'm just saying, don't be surprised. The changes, what we got to be is adaptive as hairdressers, as the people you compete with. I think I heard there's 500 salons within a mile here. One of my friends said to me, he read a book. The good thing about my friends, when they read a book, I don't have to. He said, you're driving down the road and you see a cow. You stop the car with your friends, you jump out, you take a picture, put it on Instagram. Wow, you're driving down a little further, you see another cow. Are you going to stop? No. And then about 3 blocks up, you see one and it's purple. What you going to do? You're going to pull right over. We've got to be the purple cow. From the way you shampoo, from the words you use, from the way you look, dress up is part of our business. You want to be a beauty professional? I see people coming into work. About 12 o'clock, they've got one eyelash on. 3 o'clock, they got the second. 5:30 when they leave, they're perfect. What is wrong with this world? It's about looking the part, being the part, whatever that is to you. I'm not dictating what it is. It doesn't need to be black, it can be whatever you imagine, but I'm just saying there's something we got to do to be that purple cow, to stand out with dialogue, stand out with constantly changing your menus and your dialogue and your thoughts, and always offering people change. People will leave you every day because you didn't offer change. Didn't say they wanted it, say you want to dance, she says no, it's okay, as long as you offer it. It's just about offering it to the clients, making a difference, standing out in it, and to be good at this, you don't have to be fancy. You don't have to be superhuman. You just got to be nice to people and believe it, and touch people's hearts and souls and give them the things that they need, and you will see your clientele grow. It's not so hard. It's not about the hair. It's about the people. I was in a beauty school a few months ago, and I said, where are you going to work? She said, the morgue. I said, boy, you don't like people? She goes, no, I hate them. I go, that's a perfect place for you. Not everybody loves people. If you don't love people, don't do hair. Barbie didn't talk back. Clients do. Get to love people. Find the love affair with each and every guest. That to me is the secret. I had an assistant with me this weekend. We call them rising stars. At some points I got 5 deep. She's like, how do you do that? You never lost a smile. You just keep going. I said, I said, I'm great on stage, but what I'm the best at is right here with this client paying $200 for a haircut. I don't stop. They get every single penny's worth, and it was never about the precision of the haircut. It's really about that bedside manner. It's about how far you want to take it to build a relationship. And if you can build a relationship with people, they will come back for life. So on behalf of Paul Mitchell, Jeff, thank you so much. Thank you, Jamie, BSG, Partner, our sales team over here. But most of all, John Paul for bringing control to the party. And then what's the band's name tonight? 3 Strange Guys? No, 3 Strange Days. I had to throw that in there. Just what an honor to be here, and it's Monday. You guys should all be home doing other stuff, catching up on Netflix, and I just can't believe you're all here. So thank you guys. We're gonna hang. We're gonna drink with you. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.